Amazing. Being able to compete, feeling healthy, going out there and executing no matter what, just being the best athlete I can be, and doing that with a great team around me, with great training partners. Today felt amazing.
Sha'Carri Richardson, the reigning world champion, has stunned fans again, but not for the reasons many expected. After a season of setbacks and off-track headlines, she finally stepped back onto the big stage. The result? Both promising and troubling. She reached the podium, but in a way that left more questions than answers. Is Sha'Carri still the queen of sprinting, or has her own shadow finally caught her? Sha'Carri Richardson is one of the biggest names in track and field. She is bold, fast, and never afraid to speak her mind. Fans know her for her colorful hair, her tattoos, and above all, her blazing speed. At the 2023 World Championships in Budapest, she stunned the world with a gold medal and a time of 10.65 seconds in the 100 meters, making her one of the fastest women in history. But 2025 has not been kind to her. A small injury in February delayed her season and ruined her rhythm. Her comeback races in May and June were shaky. The season that was supposed to be another crown year for Sha'Carri was quickly turning into a nightmare. The story of Sha'Carri's 2025 season begins in February. During winter training, she suffered an injury. She never said exactly what it was, but it kept her off the track for weeks. By the time May came around, she still wasn't ready. Her first big race was in Tokyo at the Golden Grand Prix on May 18. Fans expected fireworks. Instead, they saw Sha'Carri finish fourth in 11.47 seconds, almost a full second slower than her best. Right away, rumors spread. Was she hiding an injury? Was her form gone? By July, she admitted the truth. At a press conference before the Prefontaine Classic, she said, "The injury completely set me back from the season, delaying my start." She promised she was ready for a well-executed race. But when the gun fired in Eugene, she faded. 9th place. Her season looked lost. And things didn't get easier. Off the track, Sha'Carri made headlines after an airport incident with her partner that led to her being arrested. For weeks, her personal life became bigger news than her races. By August, the questions were everywhere.
Hey. Listen.
Chris, I assaulted you? Okay. I'm so sorry. I'm just making
It's
sure.
not him that reported it.
Oh,
One
okay.
of the TSA folks reported it.
Oh, one of the TSA people, because I can definitely have evidence of him assaulting me if possible.
Was Sha'Carri finished? Could she still compete with the best? Or had the fire that made her a world champion started to burn out? On the 22nd of August, at the Allianz Memorial Van Damme in Brussels, Sha'Carri got her chance to answer. The 100-meter field was stacked. In lane 5 was Melissa Jefferson-Wooden, her training partner, who had been dominating the season with a world lead. In lane 4, Jamaican legend Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. And in lane 6, Sha'Carri Richardson. The crowd buzzed as the women settled into their blocks. The starter's gun fired, and Jefferson jumped ahead quickly. Sha'Carri's start was steady but not explosive. For the first 40 meters, she trailed. But then, her stride opened up. She fought her way forward, lifting her knees higher, driving her arms harder. For Sha'Carri, that second place felt like gold. She smiled wide, shook Jefferson's hand, and even pointed to the sky in relief. She had been beaten, but she was back. Still, the result left questions. Was this a sign she had regained her form, or was it proof that the younger generation, Jefferson, Alfred, and others, had passed her by? Her time, 11.08, wasn't close to her personal best, but it showed consistency. Earlier in August, she ran 11.05 inches, Silesia. Now, with another low 11 time, she was proving she could hold her level. This was important because the World Championships in Tokyo were only weeks away. As the reigning world champion in the 100 meters, Sha'Carri already had a spot in the final, but she needed momentum. She needed belief. Brussels gave her that. It also showed her fans something else, her resilience. After the airport arrest, after the injuries, after the questions, Sha'Carri smiled, hugged her rivals, and stood proud on the track. It wasn't the kind of fire she showed in Budapest in 2023, but it was a quieter strength. Still, the fact remained, Sha'Carri wasn't the fastest on the track that night. Melissa Jefferson-Wooden, her own training partner, had outrun her. For Sha'Carri, that might have been the hardest part. Track and field is not just about times, it's about rivalries, and Sha'Carri has plenty. Melissa Jefferson-Wooden has become her biggest challenger. They train together, push each other, and now Jefferson is starting to beat her. With a personal best of 10.73 earlier this season, Jefferson is America's new rising star. Then there's Julien Alfred, the pride of St. Lucia and the reigning Olympic 100-meter champion. Alfred has beaten Shacarri before and will meet her again in Tokyo. She's consistent, powerful, and hungry for more medals. And of course, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. At nearly 40, she's still making finals, still challenging the younger sprinters. Her presence reminds everyone that experience can outlast youth. These rivalries mean Shacarri can't relax. Every race is a battle, not just against the clock, but against women who know how to win. Brussels showed that the balance of power may be shifting. Jefferson and Alfred are surging. Shacarri is fighting to hold her ground. Fans are now asking, is she still the hunter, or has she become the hunted? After Brussels, Shacarri didn't hide. She walked through the mixed zone with her head high, speaking to reporters with honesty. She said the race was a relief, that it gave her confidence, that she wasn't focused on times, but on being healthy and strong again. She also reminded fans that she is still learning. Injuries test every athlete. Off-track issues add pressure, but she insisted she was ready to keep fighting. One moment stood out. After shaking Jefferson's hand, Shacarri pointed skyward, flashed 2 fingers, and sighed deeply. It looked like she was releasing months of stress. That image may be remembered as the turning point of her season, but words and gestures only go so far. Results matter most. And while second place was good, Shacarri knows the World Championships demand more. The road ahead for Shacarri is clear but difficult. The World Championships in Tokyo are coming. She will face Alfred, Jefferson, Terry, and the best sprinters in the world. To defend her crown, she must rediscover her 2023 magic. She doesn't need a world record. She doesn't even need her personal best. What she needs is her sharp start, her fearless finish, and her confidence. The good news is that the 2025 season is long. With the championships late in September, Shacarri still has time to sharpen. Every training session, every race, every block start will matter. The bad news? Sprinting waits for no one. Rivals are hungry, Jefferson has momentum, Alfred is steady. And younger talents are rising every month. Shacarri says she's ready. Fans hope she island, but the truth is, no one knows what version of Shacarri will step on the track in Tokyo. Sha'Carri Richardson's 2025 season has been a roller coaster. From injury setbacks, to a disappointing start, to an arrest that stole headlines, she has faced challenges that might have ended another athlete's year. But in Brussels, she reminded the world of her resilience. A second-place finish may not sound historic, but it carried weight. It proved she can still fight. It proved she can still belong. Yet the bigger question remains, is she still the fastest woman on Earth? Or has her own shadow, the weight of her past, her rivals, and her own expectations started to outrun her? The World Championships in Tokyo will give the answer. Until then, the story of Sha'Carri Richardson remains one of sport's most compelling dramas. A star once untouchable, now vulnerable. A champion once unstoppable, now chasing. Fans around the world will watch, wondering, can Sha'Carri rise again, or has the crown already slipped away?
Shoot, it was a competitive race to say the least. But, I mean, those are the best ones. And putting a win underneath my belt with great competition, that's really the confidence that you want to have going into a championships.
Noah Lyles shocked the track world again. At the Diamond League final, the American sprinter did something even Usain Bolt never did. Now people are asking, who is the king of sprinting today? Is Lyles making his own history, or still chasing Bolt's legend? On the 28th of August 2025, in Zurich, Switzerland, Lyles ran one of the best races of his life. He was in the men's 200 meters against Olympic champion Lyles Tebogo of Botswana. Tebogo came off the turn in front, but in the last few steps, Lyles sped up, leaned at the finish, and won in 19.74 seconds, just 0.02 seconds faster than Tebogo. This win was special. It gave Lyles his 6th straight Diamond League final title. No sprinter has done that. Lyles smiled and said, 6 in a row, the most in track. It feels pretty nice to have that. This was not just another race. It showed that Noah Lyles is building his own legacy. His story is not only about being fast, but about winning again and again without stopping. The Diamond League final is the biggest stage in track outside the Olympics and World Championships. This year's men's 200 meters was set up as a big rematch, Noah Lyles versus Lyles Tebogo. When the starter's gun went off, Tebogo jumped ahead. For a moment, it looked like he would win again, just like he did at the Paris Olympics. But Lyles stayed calm. He kept his form strong and waited for the final straight. With only 20 meters left, he caught up. At the finish line, both men leaned forward. The board showed the result, 19.74 for Lyles, 19.76 for Tebogo. For Lyles, the time gap didn't matter. What mattered was the record, 6 Diamond League finals in a row. That kind of control is rare in sprinting. Even Usain Bolt, the biggest name in track, never managed a streak like this. Zurich ended with Lyles lifting the diamond-shaped trophy high. He knew he had done something even the sport's greatest star never did. Bolt is still the fastest man ever. His 9.58 inches, the 119.19 inches, the 200 are untouched. He changed sprinting and made races into worldwide shows. But Bolt never focused on the Diamond League. He often skipped finals or saved himself for the Olympics and Worlds. That's why his amazing career never included a streak like Lyles's. Lyles, on the other hand, has owned it. Since 2017, he has lined up and delivered year after year. It doesn't make Lyles faster than Bolt, but it does give him a place in history that Bolt never claimed. Sprinting greatness isn't only about world records. It's also about showing up, staying consistent, and proving you can win under any conditions. That's why Zurich mattered. It gave Lyles a unique record of his own. For Noah Lyles, Zurich wasn't just about Bolt, it was also about Lyles Tebogo. At only 22, Tebogo is already Olympic champion. His smooth stride and fearless racing have made him the star of a new generation. Beating Lyles in Paris gave him instant credibility. Zurich was Lyles' answer. After the race, Tebogo admitted he saw a change. He has become humble since Paris, he said. You have to let the legs do the talking. Respectful words, but also a warning. Tebogo knows he can beat Lyles again, and the World Championships in Tokyo are only weeks away. Fans now see this rivalry as sprinting's heartbeat. Zurich may have gone to Lyles, but Tebogo is young, hungry, and waiting for the next chance. Comparisons with Bolt are inevitable, but Noah Lyles' legacy is different. Bolt had the records and Olympic dominance. Lyles has built his case through consistency. He owns the American record in the 200 at 19.31. He was the first American in 20 years to win Olympic gold in the 100. He pulled off the sprint treble at the 2023 World Championships, 100, 200, and 4x100, something only Bolt had done before. For American fans, Lyles is rewriting what greatness looks like. He doesn't have to break Bolt's records to leave a mark. He already has his own list of firsts. Zurich just made it longer. Noah Lyles isn't only about medals, he's also about personality. He has spoken openly about asthma, anxiety, and depression. He brings anime cards to races. He dances. He celebrates big. Some critics dislike it, but many fans see it as refreshing. That's why Zurich meant more. It wasn't only history, it was Lyles proving his way works. He can be bold, human, and still the man to beat. As he held the trophy in Zurich, it was clear, Lyles' story isn't just about speed. It's about resilience, individuality, and showing that greatness comes in many forms. While Noah Lyles stole the spotlight, Zurich was full of big performances. St. Lucia's Julien Alfred, the Olympic 100-meter champion, returned from injury with a blazing 10.76 win. It was her first race in over a month, and she proved she's ready for Tokyo. In the men's 100, Christian Coleman edged Akani Simbine and Akeem Blake in a thrilling finish, running 9.97. Zurich was supposed to be a stage for many stars, and it delivered. But still, the headlines belonged to one man, Noah Lyles. With Zurich over, all eyes now turn to Tokyo for the 2025 World Championships. Noah Lyles enters with momentum, but the field is stacked. Lyles Tebogo is hungry to defend his Olympic crown. Keshane Thompson, Christian Coleman, and Kenny Bednarek all lurk in the 100. In the 200, young stars are pushing harder than ever. For fans, the storyline is electric. Can he hold off Tebogo? Can he repeat the sprint treble he managed in 2023? Can he edge closer to Bolt's aura, if not his records? As the lights dimmed in Zurich, one thought echoed around the stadium. Bolt gave us world records. Lyles is giving us something different: longevity, resilience, and a rivalry worth watching. The sport of sprinting is alive, and it is Noah Lyles who keeps rewriting the book. Zurich 2025 will be remembered as Noah Lyles' night. A thrilling lean at the line, a 6th straight Diamond League final, and a record even Usain Bolt never touched. It doesn't mean Lyles has surpassed Bolt, but it does mean he has carved his own lane in history, one built on consistency and resilience. With Tokyo ahead, fans are asking, can he keep this streak going, defend his titles, and hold off rivals like Tebogo? Noah Lyles is no longer just chasing Bolt's shadow. He's building a legacy all his own.
Noah Lyles just did the unthinkable, beating the Olympic champ in the final seconds and making track history in the process.
But what happened at the finish line left everyone in shock. Noah, an American sprint star who already held multiple world titles and had a personal best of 19.31 seconds in the 200 meters, had a unique target. He was going for a 6th straight Diamond League final win in the 200, a feat no other track athlete had ever pulled off. His rival across the field was none other than Olympic champion Tebogo, the young legend from Botswana who had stunned the world by beating Noah in the Olympic 200 final. Tonight's race wasn't just another contest. It was poised to be a showdown where past pain met burning ambition. This was more than a sprint. This was a mental battle. Everyone watching knew the storylines. They knew Lyles had been dominant in the Diamond League, but had fallen short when it mattered most at the Olympics. And Tebogo, he was the new face of speed. Calm under pressure, with a stride so relaxed it looked effortless even at top speed. It was a clash of eras, of mentalities, of two runners with everything to prove. When the gun went off, Tebogo leapt ahead. His smooth, powerful stride carried him just ahead as they rounded the bend. It looked eerily similar to the Olympic replay. Tebogo out front, calm, collected. But Noah wasn't about to repeat the mistakes of the past. He wasn't panicking. He remembered every stride, every fall, every moment that led him here. The crowd got even louder as the runners reached the last part of the race. Then, like a flash, Noah started running even faster. With his body leaning forward and every part of him pushing hard, he focused completely on the finish line. Right at the last second, he passed Tebogo and won the race just barely by only 0.02 seconds, finishing in 19.74 seconds. 19.74, practically flying. And with that, Noah clinched his 6th consecutive Diamond League final victory in the 200. No athlete before had ever made it 6. Suddenly, the record book felt different because he was in it alone. But what made this race even more remarkable was what you couldn't see on the stopwatch. It wasn't just about the time, it was about timing. Noah timed that final push with the precision of a sniper. He didn't lead the whole way. He stalked his opponent, waited, and attacked at the exact moment when the world thought Tebogo had it sealed. His words after the race captured it perfectly. 6 in a row, the most in track. It is pretty nice to have that. I saw Letsile lean on the finish line, but I knew I won. I knew if I panicked, I was not going to win. If you are tight, you are done for. Those sentences weren't rehearsed. They were raw, honest, the kind of insight only someone who's sprinted that close to defeat and snatched victory might have. Tebogo's reaction was mature too. He said watching Lyles win, he realized how much Noah had grown in humility since the Olympic loss. You have to let the legs do the talk, he said. The more you talk and you cannot prove it means you only talk. You do not prove yourself. But for me, I do not talk. I just let the legs do its thing. That level of respect, that competitive poise, it's what makes this rivalry feel like more than just a contest. It's a chapter in sprinting history being written out loud. The stakes were high, not just for bragging rights. With the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo on the horizon, this was huge. For Noah, after a couple of 100-meter losses earlier that season, winning here was exactly the confidence boost he needed. It wasn't just another medal to hang on the wall, it was a statement, loud and clear, to every sprinter lining up in Tokyo, he's still the man to beat. And the atmosphere? It was absolutely electric. The Diamond League final, the premier stage in track and field, had drawn the world's biggest stars to Zurich's Letzigrund from August 27th to 28th. This wasn't your average end-of-season event. It felt more like a global summit of the sport's best. Athletes knew this was the last real test before Tokyo, and everyone showed up hungry. Lyles' win was just one of the headlines. Julien Alfred made a comeback splash, clocking 10.76 seconds to win the women's 100 and silence any doubts about her recovery. Javelin became a stage for pure drama. Julian Weber unleashed a world-leading 91.51 meters, pushing Olympic champ Neeraj Chopra into second. Christian Coleman ripped through the men's 100 in 9.97 seconds. Karsten Warholm and Femke Bol broke meet records in their hurdle events. Records were falling like dominoes.
Even outside the sprints, the action was wild. A Dutch national record tumbled in the women's 1500. Britain's stars hit personal bests in the 800. This was the kind of night where even finishing second felt like a badge of honor. Champions weren't just winning, they were sharpening their swords before war. But Lyles, his moment stood above it all, because in that single burst of power and precision,